Welcome to Something to Talk About. Here we are today at King's Restaurant in Tamuning. I have a special guest, somebody who I've interviewed on the radio but never really did so on this program. So this is a first time. Local doctor, Dr. Tom Shea. He's an equal part patient advocate and health care activist. We'll talk about his story and the years that he spent on Guam being one of the few OBGYNs. That's ahead on Something to Talk About. Welcome back to King's Restaurant. Here we are with Dr. Tom Shea, eating really good food. I'm assuming that you think that this is a good meal, right?
I come here a lot. Me and my wife are here 2-3 times a week.
What do you eat when you're here?
You want to know what you like here? Well, it depends. Sometimes if I like something light, not really light, but I usually like to have steamed vegetables and the short ribs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't ever eat do you ever eat like junk food?
Oh, are you kidding? Every day.
Do you really? Come on.
I walk every day though.
Okay, so
if you want to eat junk food, you got to make sure you burn it off. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. We need carbs. You know, carb is really supplies the sugars to your brain. Yeah, when your sugar drops, you know, you can't think clearly. So you can eat the carbs, but you have to work out. That's the main thing.
Yeah. So I mean, what's like if you're my entire family is dieting. Yeah. My entire family, you know, we have a wedding in the family. You know,
diet's a four-letter word.
I know it is, and I keep telling them I don't like that.
Yeah.
I would prefer you guys eat whatever it is that you want to eat within reason, and then work out. Yeah. That seems to be the best diet.
My mom just telling me, okay, and my mom, when she was very sick, she loves to eat, but she couldn't eat when she had cancer. She's, you know, and my grandmother too, you know. So she's always told me, if you're hungry, that's a good sign. If you have the appetite, that means you're healthy. You should eat. It's okay. Yeah. So whatever your body is saying to eat is probably but don't eat too much of the bad thing.
Yeah. But you know, you're a pretty healthy guy. Every time I'm on the radio, you're always out there, you know, on the beach running with. You post a lot of stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, I try to encourage I have to do what I preach. I tell my patients to exercise, to walk. I tell you to walk and exercise. So I have to do what I preach. You know.
Yeah. Well, I called you at the beginning. I said you're equal parts patient advocate and healthcare activist.
I don't know about activist, advocate. Yeah, activist.
Definitely an advocate, but don't you feel like sometimes you are, you know, bucking the system when the system doesn't work right in this industry?
It's you know, we live in a society that's not fair. There's a lot of disparities in our society today, and we see that. And sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I will speak out and say, that's not fair. And you see it too. I know you do. But I think you're more politically controlled.
Sensitive. I'm more politically sensitive because you really do want to be able to represent what everybody says. I mean, that's my job. It's not my job to spew any of my politics or tell people how I think. It's mostly to be a vehicle so that people can say what they want to think.
Yeah, and my other colleague, on the other hand, Dr. Akimoto, he'll just talk. He's uncontrollable. At least I have my wife. My wife will tell me, okay.
Well, you have a filter,
Yeah, my wife is my filter. And he said, what did you say? Stop that. And then I'll stop. I say, you know, I'll stop.
Well, is it hard though to stop when you see these things? Because there's a lot. I mean, and you're also a businessman. Not only are you a doctor and you've got that part of your brain, but you're a businessman running a business on Guam.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of political stuff happening.
We contribute to the economy of Guam quite a bit. I've been here. Well, I came here with the Navy. You know, those people who don't know me, I came with the Navy in 1996. Patty, I tell you the truth, okay? I was fighting with the Navy not to come to Guam. I said, I don't want to go to Guam. I was supposed to be in Balboa, San Diego, and Miramar with Top Gun. That was the Top Gun days. I was supposed to be on the sailboats and San Diego. But they, last minute, in April and May, they gave me the orders right after I finished my training at Kapiolani, report to Naval Hospital Guam. And then back in 1996, it was dial-up, right? You dial up the internet, all I saw was brown tree snakes.
Oh,
and I said, oh my God, when am I supposed to take my two daughters, young daughters, and my wife, and move all to Guam, where a place that has a whole bunch of brown tree snakes.
Yeah.
But we came, and the first people I met was Dr. Chris Perez, Dr. Deb Erickson, bless their hearts.
Bless their hearts.
And they say, Tom, we need you here. I want you to help us out. And the first baby I delivered on Guam was not at Naval Hospital. It was at Guam Memorial Hospital. And that was helping Dr. Perez out in the C-section on the weekend. And ever since then, I worked with them on the weekends. And I delivered more babies at GMH than over at the Navy when I was here during active duty. And
you're predestined to defend GMH for sentimental reasons as well.
Well, before Dr. Perez and Dr. Deb Erickson passed away, we had a long talk. And then they told me to never give up on GMH. It's there. It's been there for the patient. It always will be there. So, Tom, you can never, ever leave GMH. And when you practice, I want you to practice right here near GMH because we need you. And he knows that because when he called me the very first weekend that I arrived on Guam, when I got my license to practice medicine, it was an emergency section that helped Dr. Perez save a life. And the mom was bleeding, and he called me in and said, Tom, we need to help this patient. And I came in and we saved that baby. And that felt great. That really did. And coming out of residency, I was fresh. I was a young doctor, and there was some hesitancy, but to be able to help Dr. Perez and save that baby, it was a great feeling.
Why didn't you stay in Hawaii? I mean, you could have easily stayed in Hawaii.
Well, Hawaii is AAA, which is Army.
Yeah, but I mean, after you got out of the military, you could have easily started a practice in Hawaii.
In fact, I had offers in Hawaii. I was going to go back, work at Straub or in Hilo and join my colleagues there. And then when I was ready to leave, again, Dr. Perez and Dr. Lombard. Well, Dr. Lombard is a captain in the Navy, right? So I give them a lot of respect. And he said, Tom, we still need you. Give us 1 year. Stay on Guam for 1 year. So that's what I did. I stayed on Guam for 1 year. I don't know what happened that 1 year, but I ended up with thousands of patients, and it's so hard to leave.
Did you already start a clinic, a private clinic?
I did. In the end of 1999, I started a clinic right next to Dr. Lazama. I called Larry, do you have any extra space? I was with Larry's clinic, and I started off with only 600 square foot of space, with 2 exam rooms and 2 staff, and that's it. And then, but we were busy. I was delivering about 50 babies a month.
Yeah. When did you become, or had you always been, the outspoken doctor? What was it that compelled you to have to speak up?
I wouldn't say speak up per se. I did when the turn for the bone marrow drive started it. That was the turn of events where I saw that, Justice Tedigui, which was a 5-year-old, the drive for justice started. No one was able to help her out, and she was crying, and then she was calling for help. And then we were trying to get a bone marrow drive for her, and people were saying, we can't get it done. So I had to be a little vocal, so I wrote nationally. I wrote to Hawaii, my colleagues there, and said, you got to come here. And within a week, we had the drive, and we had like almost 4,000 people that came out. And from there, I realized that, the people of Guam really embrace what I do here. And that's how I started being a little bit more vocal. In order to get things done nationally, you have to be vocal with them as well. So I try to be as vocal as I can in a polite way.
It must have gotten to you though, because you're passionate about a lot of stuff, and sometimes I think that when you talk about these issues on social media, you do get some pushback from people who don't necessarily agree with you.
No.
Does that bother you?
No. It doesn't bother me at all because I respect freedom of speech. I think it's okay to a certain point. But I think those people who don't know me personally, you know me for many years, and you know what I do, and my intentions are good. I'm sincere at what I do. GMA doesn't pay me. They don't pay me a dime. I'm not on their payroll. I'm independent. And but I do a lot of community service. I give back to the community. I know what I do. My wife knows what I do. My family knows what I do. My friends and my colleagues know what I do. Those people who don't know what I do will have a lot of criticism. They always say, Dr. Shea, you're doing this for your own promotion. I'm not running for office. I've been asked to run for senator, but I'm not doing it because I don't need it. But I will do my influences on the outside. I will give advice, say, hey, this is how healthcare economics is. This is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do because it affects patients, because I'm in the front lines. So I can be vocal in that way, but the criticism will come to me and say, hey, you're doing this for yourself. I'm not.
Do people, actually come up to you and criticize you for being so vocal or passionate?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's always in the background.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just something you hear about people saying about you.
Yeah, but if they want to talk to me personally, it's okay. We'll sit down, we'll have coffee. Just call me up. I'll come Kings.
Yeah.
My number is so easy, accessible.
Well, I mean, that's just it, because you are very reachable. And so I'm wondering, after all of these years, whether or not your wife finds you to be too accessible.
Yeah, in fact, a couple of times when I'm sitting here eating dinner and I get called from GMH and I say, I gotta go and the food's not here yet.
Yeah.
Let me go deliver the baby and she'll be here by herself.
She have to be here by herself.
Yeah, I'm just glad nobody picked her up.
Yeah, because she's a good-looking lady sitting here single by herself.
Yeah.
Watching her man walk out the door is.
You know, and you know, me and my wife know each other since high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and people ask, oh, you're high school sweethearts. I had to chase her.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, I had to chase her. It wasn't easy.
Did you have to convince her? I mean, well, I think about it. I mean, here's a young, up-and-coming, you know, Navy doctor. You know, she probably knew that your success was going to be great, you know.
No.
She didn't think that?
No.
On paper, you didn't even look good?
I think maybe no, my paper was horrible. Yeah. Are you kidding?
I would have thought that you just on paper you looked good.
I still have dreams, Patty, that
of her rejecting
going back to high school days, and I said, did I graduate? You know.
Did this really happen?
Oh yeah, and in fact,
funny.
And I tell you the story why I started a Scholar Athlete program. It's because I really believe education is the way to go for kids. When I was in high school, I had my hot rod. I used to go out with my friends. I used to cut class. Junior year, I almost flunked out. They almost put me back a year. I flunked biology, by the way. I had an F in biology. Okay. I don't know if your audience knows
I didn't even get an F in biology. I was close, but not an F. But okay, so
because I didn't want to pit the frog.
Neither did I. We had to do that back. They made us do that back in the day.
I skipped class. Yeah.
So we're talking to Dr. Tom Shea, and we have a lot more to talk about. We have to take a break. I do want to talk about the Scholar Athlete.
Yeah.
I know that that's important to your family, but I also want to know what some of the insights that you might have been able to have based on your daily dealings with women and healthcare and what that has done for the cause of women. Yeah. We'll talk about that. We're talking with Dr. Tom Shea. We got some fruit, we got some fish, we've got some toast. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Something to Talk About with Dr. Tom Shea, who is, I think, probably one of the most well-known physicians that Guam has had because of, you know, your presence in the community. I personally know how much you give back. I will tell you, honestly, and I don't mean to insult anybody, but sometimes I'll come in with strays and I'll tell them, Tom, I have a girl. She doesn't have any insurance. You know, can you? And he's never said no. And so your ability to be able to work in, you know, women who don't otherwise have the resources, much less the insurance.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, it's been more than once that you called me and said, Pat, Tom, can she just take a look at the baby? You know, sure. You know why? Let me tell you why. Because when somebody's down, they don't have insurance. Some moms, all they want to do is listen to the baby's heartbeat or just take a look at the baby. It provides them a lot of hope. A lot of hope.
Didn't you tell me that when you went to, remember after that big typhoon in that
Tacoma,
there were women in some of these far-flung provinces that never would have ever been able. They'd had babies before.
They had babies before, but never seen a doctor, has never heard a baby's heartbeat. So I went there with the ultrasound and let them see the baby. They thought we came from outer space.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was great because it brought a lot of personal satisfaction in what we do. And Dr. Nguyen would tell you that he didn't let me leave because I was supposed to go back already because I have patients here. So he kept me for extra 2 days over in Tacoma. It wasn't nice.
Yeah.
It was nice, but the people was beautiful.
Right,
you know, they welcome you. But the water was dirty. They had no toiletry and everything. So I held my pee in a bus for 8 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, that was how bad it was.
So, you know, when you have these experiences with women who come from these underserved countries, your experiences with women who are underserved by our healthcare industry on Guam for a variety of reasons, or just been displaced, they don't have a job, whatever their situation is, has that translated into anything about your understanding of women's issues or women's place in the world? And their economic representation or their, female representation. Do you have a little soft spot there for some of these women's issues?
Of course. And I work with women all day long. My two daughters.
His entire family is all
My
female.
whole family is all girls. Okay, it's girl power.
Well, you did gain a son. You did gain a son in Kevin. You gained a son in Kevin.
My daughter got married, and Kevin is a wonderful son-in-law.
Yeah.
Much taller than me, much better looking than me, thank goodness. And I have a dog that's a boy too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well then, all right.
But
females-
women is tough. In fact, women can endure pain so much more than men. We're crybabies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
That's
crybabies.
what they say.
Yeah, but you know the challenge about women is that they have to balance their life, especially trying to get pregnant, having children, work at the same time. It's hard. It's not easy. So I deal with them, and I deal with their everyday lives. And I always tell the dad, you got to treat her good because she's going through a lot. Because when you get pregnant, 9 months, your body goes through a lot of changes. Just imagine a woman who's pregnant and trying to get out of the car. Please help your wife who somebody's pregnant out of the car because it's difficult to get in and try to get out. That's why I tell the dad always, get a rice bag. Carry the rice bag around all day long and see how you feel at the end of the day. And then when you go into the car, put a rice bag on your tummy and try to get out of the car with that rice bag.
Was sensitivity training for a male OBGYN
yeah.
part of the curriculum?
Oh yeah, when I was in medical school, they made us get naked and go on the stirrups. They made us spread our legs in the patient's bed in the stirrup. It's intimidating.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So when I do the exam, I always be very sensitive. I always have a chaperone with me, and I always provide adequate privacy for the patients.
Right.
Yeah.
The sensitivities are
Sensitivity is there.
there. Your work trying to groom, young kids also, I'm sure, comes from the relationship that you had with your grandmother who made you pay attention.
Yeah, my grandmother, this is the turning point in my life. During my junior year, the summer of my junior, my grandmother passed away. She had cancer. And my grandmother was my best friend, Patty.
Really?
Oh yeah, it wasn't my
You were
mom,
her
it wasn't my
favorite?
dad.
Were you
I was her
favorite?
favorite. Yeah, I was her favorite. So
she saw something in you even when you were skipping school and
yeah,
not
she
making
did,
the grade?
She did. But she never spanked me, but my dad did. And it worked. But I always crawled to my grandmother, and then she always told me that wherever you do in life, wherever you end up, could be here, could be there, could be California, wherever you end up, make sure that you do good in the community that you're in, make sure you give back to the community. If you're going to be, whoever you're going to be the best that you can in what you do. And that's what I try to do, is be more compassionate to the people outside. And I barely graduated from high school. I think my GPA, I'm not proud of it, it's 2.2, I think to graduate you have to have a 2.0. So I barely graduated. When I went to college, I was put on probation. My first semester in college. And Sister Roberta, bless her heart, she only allowed me to take 4 classes. So I said, Sister, I'm going to get all A's in those 4. She said, good, because if not, you're still going to be on probation. So I got the 4 A's in the first semester, and I came back and she said, you can take 6 or 8 classes all you want. And ever since then, I had straight A's. And I got 1 B my last semester. 1 B ruined my GPA, so I ended up with 3.99. And I graduated summa cum laude in my college, and I got straight into medical school. And
what was the turnaround for you? Was it just the wise words of your grandmother, or did you just feel like you feel like a loser or something?
No, she left. I had no shoulder to lean on. I had my mama; she's always good, but my grandma's always been there. So, and she talked to me about it, and she said, when I look at you, you're in the stars. I think you'll be a good doctor. I think you're compassionate, and I think that's your calling.
You started this Shea Su Ying Scholar Athletes Award program so that you could recognize the cream of the crop and these kids who juggle. We were just talking about it the other day. The kids who try to juggle, the sport, the academics, family life with the pressures of society on them to smoke and to drink and to do drugs.
It's hard.
And to have sex and all of these other pressures.
Yeah,
it's hard to find these balanced kids.
To be a scholar athlete, well, first of all, I would never make the cut, okay? But to be a scholar athlete is tough. You have to get a GPA of at least 3.4. Now, but usually it's much higher than that. But we do have winners before they had GPA 3.4, outstanding citizenship, and they have to really get good grades. And you can't smoke, drink, or do drugs.
Yeah.
But one of the criteria you mentioned, sex part, that's not part of the criteria.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, but I was just sort of referring to these are the kind of pressures that these teenagers have in their life, is trying to juggle, being a success at a sport or in academics, and then having to try to avoid all of these vices and habits and things that people will put that on them because they're kids. We were all kids at one point and had to face all of those social pressures.
So, the nomination packet is already coming in. So if you haven't gone, you can go SheaScholarAthlete.com and it's online. And I think the deadline is in about 21 days or so.
Okay.
April 20th.
Okay, so that make sure that you get that done. And then finally, after all of the babies, how many have you in the past?
On Guam, I'm going to be surpassing my 9,000 baby, end of the year, because I deliver about 400, 450 a year.
9,000.
9,000 in my lifetime. A Kapilani, I deliver 4,000.
I've asked other doctors. I did ask this of Dr. Annie Bordallo, another well-known OBGYN, and about do you still get that feeling when a baby is delivered?
Oh yeah, I know Annie very well. In fact, when I came with the Navy, I know Annie, so we get along very well. And she's a good doctor.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she still get that
feeling. Do you still get that?
Oh
feeling?
yeah, every baby that comes out, I look at the face because the expression of the baby's face just makes you smile. Some of them come out frowning, some of them come out smiling, and some will come out with a wink.
Yeah.
It's just great. And to actually carry the baby and put it on mom's tummy and let the dad. And let me tell you, some dads are really crybabies when it comes to giving birth.
Well, it's always good to see if you're a friend of Dr. Shea's on Facebook, and it's so easy to just go if you aren't a friend of his and see the photos of all of the babies. He takes these photos fresh from the womb and he posts them on Facebook. But most importantly, having your own children.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And having grandchildren.
Yeah, I'm going to be a grandpa. I told my daughter. I just found out, and I'm so happy. And now, I can be a grandpa. I mean,
you don't even know it. Do you even know what that means?
I'm on cloud 9.
I know. I'm sure you are.
I am. My daughter got married in last year. You were there at the wedding.
Yeah.
I danced, and now I told my daughter, hey. You can. Oh, it's okay.
It's time to multiply.
Yeah, it's okay now. You can engage.
Well, she got right on it then. She got married in September. Well, good for her. Congratulations to Bevan, to Kevin, to Raven, and Tiffany. And
my wife's ecstatic. We're looking forward to be grandparents.
That's so different. It's different. They say.
I know.
It is. It's a whole lot different. He also. I was in the room for the birth of my grandson, and it was. Just to watch you.
You were good. Thank God you were there. Huh?
Actually, I was pretty bad, but it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. Anyway, I'm looking forward to how many. Do you feel like the rest of your life will be here, or eventually you'll have to bring Raven home?
Yeah. In fact, my plan for Guam is, I want to practice here for at least 15 more years, minimum, 20 maybe. I'm still young because I got into medical school right away. But I have planned to build a brand new clinic here in Tilmaning. I'll announce that to you later on.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's good. It's a small clinic, but it's conducive, a state-of-the-art, real eco-friendly. And I'll share that with you down the road. But it's going to be good for it's a clinic for you. It's a clinic for your daughter and for everyone that's around here. So it's actually very, very good.
Do you ever look into the possibility of the newfangled ways to give birth? I mean, we've been doing it for centuries, but do you ever look at the trends of how and say, well, maybe that, water birth, what a good idea, put a tub in my clinic?
No, let me tell you something. Medicine has come so far now. Okay, we don't need to go back in the dark ages to deliver a baby. You don't have to suffer in pain. There's epidurals that you can have. Not everyone needs epidural, but if you're in severe pain, everybody's pain tolerance is different. But if somebody's cutting you with a knife and you need pain relief, we're going to give it to you, but only if you ask. But the basic delivery method is still the traditional way of I got to be there to deliver. But there's no such thing as, okay, we're going to do a telemedicine. Dr. Shea, you're going to kind of coach me through. Now, I did that when I was at Naval Hospital because the AC-5, we had to rescue somebody in Yap, one of the islands, flying them through. And poor corpsman had to deliver a baby while with me on the phone, telling me how to give birth. Yeah, and we had to meet at the helipad. Wow. And so we did that one time, but that's not
your
the way.
Thing.
I'm a blue-collar worker, okay? I got to be there. My hands get bloody, and I got to do the work. And I like that. Every patient that I see in the office, I really want to be there for them to do the delivery. Yeah. So I really work hard. And I want to make sure, number one priority for me is safety. Safety is number one priority.
Well, I am looking forward to you gushing about being a grandfather.
Yeah, I'm smiling.
Yeah, he's like, you're not going to be able to. This is the time to ask him for something right now.
That's right. Ask
coffee
me,
for everyone.
It's the yes man time, Yeah, coffee for everybody at King's.
Thanks, Dr. Shea. I appreciate it. It's been good to have you. Good to have you, my friend. Grandpa. He's going to be a grandpa. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time on Something to Talk About.